What's up, guys? So all of the new 7-star units in the game are busted crazy, like ridiculously OP, like 10 billion damage. What? So today we're going to be taking a look at the oldest 7 stars in All-Star Tower Defense, and we're going to be seeing, are they still OP and do they need buffed? And also, of course, guys, how far can we get in infinite mode with the oldest 7 stars? But before we hop into it, guys, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Help us reach 500k to unlock our next code unit. And also, don't forget to use star code BLAM whenever buying Robux or Premium. All right, let's go hop into it. All right, here we go, guys. You know what? Let's do normal mode. All right, here we go. And let's start it off with the guy on my shoulder. We got the one and only, and I believe, technically speaking, the weakest 7-star in the game. We got the one and only Cooler. Now, he's busted OP for raid mode, but unfortunately, I don't really think his stats hold up in infinite mode, but you know what? Let's check it out. All right, so he's actually doing pretty well so far. So while we wait, we're going to be using Speedwagon, who, hey, you know what? Why can't we get a Speedwagon, 7-star? I'm thinking like Speedwagon 7-star from, like part 3 of JoJo. He might be in a wheelchair, but like, I think he's richer and he runs like the whole Speedwagon freaking army. Like, that was crazy. So let's get a Speedwagon 7-star. Like, come on. Also, getting JoJo Stone Ocean. So JoJo update, Speedwagon, just saying. All right, let's go take a look. Make sure you have the attack effects on. You guys didn't see nothing. Bang. There you go. Clean. All right, first upgrade, 25k damage. Honestly, units are starting off with way better DPS than this. But, like, that doesn't mean it's not, like, still respectable. Like, it's not bad. All right, then we got Dash. Okay, so if you took a look pretty closely, you're going to notice that the AoE went very, very slightly up, which is pretty good. Then we'll get another damage increase. All right. And again, a lot of units are starting off with more damage than this guy, but it's still respectable. All right, here we go, guys. Okay, I believe the AoE went up by like about one like Roblox inch or whatever. I think they're called stud. So like it went up by like 1 stud in the game, which is crazy. All right, let's get the next upgrades. All right, here we go. Purple beam for 5k. Let's go get that one. Hopefully this is better, bro. Imagine if they gave this guy like cone AoE. That'd be crazy. So I mean, the stats are definitely like respectable, but I don't know, man. They're kind of mid though. Like, I know, like the newer units, like, they're doing 257k on, like, the second upgrade or something crazy. So, all right, here we go. Supernova. All right. With 411k maxing out, man, that's just kind of mid. I mean, granted, he does get the self-clone ability, which is very nice. But, like, overall, for, like, a 7-star, capping out at that much damage, man, really leaves a lot to be desired. But if you guys don't know, you can actually get, Water Affinity 5 on this. All right, I have a video on how to do that, so if you guys want to go check that out, just search up Water Affinity on my channel. You'll see how to get Water Affinity 5 on any water units. All right, so next up, let's check out one that not a lot of people use. I think I put him as like the worst 7-star in the game before. We have the one and only Cell. Now he does have the green enchant, so maybe you could use him in the Hell raid. I think that's the only raid that green's good for anyway. So here we go, starting off at 7k. Now, I mean, I guess we could compare him to a Cooler. Like, look at that guy, 7k versus 12k. Yeah, it's kind of a big difference. I would honestly say I think Cooler is like 100% better. Like, it's that bad. All right, here we go. Cell gets the next upgrade, 15k, 24k. Again, look at this. Like, the costs aren't even that cheap too. And like the damage increase just seems kind of mid. Spirit Breaker. Now, this one actually isn't bad. I like this one because it's full AoE, but again, the damage for a 7-star is just so low. It's crazy out here. All right, well, we're going to have to go farm up a little bit because we're starting to run out of money. All right, here we go. Let's go get these next upgrades. All right, here we go. We got another damaging upgrade. All right, so 164 for full AoE. All right, then we get Solar Blue Beam. All right, this one has a pretty decent AoE in range. All right, respectable. Respectable. I'm going to go get a Metal Cooler in the back, though, so we don't accidentally die, because that would be very unfortunate. All right, here we go. Next upgrade is expensive though, 455k, and you can see the damage just isn't really going up that much considering like how much you're paying for it. Because if you don't know, guys, we already invested like 600k into this guy, so this is really leaving a lot to be desired here. But he does have another upgrade for 600k. We're gonna get the double his damage, so that's actually not too bad of a value. But I just feel like capping out at 2.6 million for a 7-star, especially for perfect Cell, like, honestly, I kind of feel like this is kind of a big disrespect on our boy. I definitely feel like they could give him ability, you know, buff him or do something, man. Because this guy is just, oh man, look at that guy's 2.6 for 8. Bro, I'm pretty sure like Boros does like 100 million for 8, you know? Like, that's crazy out here. All right, let's check out the next unit, man, because that unit was just bad. All right, we got a unit that I actually like, that I think is pretty decent. A little bit underrated. I know not a lot of people use Zoro, but again, the problem is he's a bleed unit, and Sid is just basically a better version of him. However, this guy does hit airs. Obviously not right now, but a little bit later on. And just having a bleed unit in general is really good. He's actually one of the highest DPS units in the game. So, like, he's really, really good. And actually, he's one of the highest DPS hybrid units as well. So here we go, guys. Demonic Potence. Looking pretty sick. You're going to see he has quite a bit of range as well. And again, bleed is like the best effect. 5/8. Like, that is really OP. So if you guys get bleed units, definitely worth it to use. All right, and his stats are pretty crazy. Now, the one problem with him is if we take a look at his damages and stuff and costs, you're going to see that he's kind of unaffordable. Like, yeah, he's doing like 55k is like the only thing you can afford in story mode. You could maybe get this upgrade, but it's just not worth it. So there's no point. So that's my biggest gripe with Zoro. He's kind of one-dimensional for like air mode. And even then, people probably just bring like, I guess people bring Mob. So maybe Mob and him is the duo. But yeah, that's not too bad. But again, his stats are pretty crazy. 3.75 million, 12 SPA, and bleed. Not a bad unit, guys. I'm going to be honest. He might be the best unit out of all the ones we bring today. I think he has a good chance. All right, not counting, of course, the one and only Metal Freezer for Infinite Mode only, though. All right, here we go. We got all this set up now. So next up, we're going to check the one and only Broly. Now, Broly is kind of an expensive unit, but they actually buffed him a while back, making him cheaper. But I think they might have lowered his damage too, though. So maybe it's not really a full-on buff. But he actually is, I guess, maybe usable for story mode. You're going to see he has a few, like, cheaper upgrades here. 2K, 2K, 3K, 3K, 3.5K. But you can see his damage is kind of capping out pretty low here, like 200K, 500K. But this is the main upgrade that you guys want to get if you have Broly. Honestly, if you can't afford this upgrade, Broly is literally useless to your team. So make sure if you bring Broly, you have adequate money units. Because 8.5 million is kind of pricey, especially when you're trying to max out like 8 Zoros, 8 Vegetas. So let's go save up for a little bit and get this popping off. All right, here we go. We finally have right about enough money, guys. However, we had to wait to like wave 60 to get it, which is wild. But I mean, somehow we survived. I don't know how. I realized I didn't have any other defense besides Broly. So I guess Broly been putting in that work. But bang, here we go, guys. The legendary transformation. Now, he works best if you have like a good orb, like a good range orb on him. Or like, especially like some sort of range buff unit. Because his SBA is kind of high, but his range is pretty good. If you place him in the right spots, he is able to hit the entire map. But unfortunately, like, his DPS is actually like surprisingly low. Because remember, you can only actually place one of him. So he's definitely been outshined by a lot of units, and I definitely don't think he counted says meta anymore. So like, as far as him being still meta, which is like the question of the video, I'm gonna probably say no on this guy. It's a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. All right, next up we got Vegeta. Now Vegeta is special because you can use him to make Vegeto. All right, and so like Vegeto does add to the DPS a little bit, I guess. But here we go. Let's go upgrade this guy. Now, one thing I do like about this man is that he's actually really, really good for raid mode. You're going to see like 1 million damage, 1.2 million damage with this big AoE. So imagine you guys give him like any decent range orb and he is going to be popping off big time. So very, very good unit to use for raids. And then we're going to go get his max upgrade, and he's going to be a pretty decent unit. Now, as far as DPS is concerned, if you do all the math, etc., you're going to notice that he's going to have a very, very similar SPA to, and DPS to Broly, but you're going to have to max out all of them to get that. I believe he might even be a little bit better. But again, he's going to be more expensive because each one costs 1.5 million, and you multiply that by 8. Like, now all of a sudden, we're at like $12 million, and this guy only costs like 9 million to max. So definitely more expensive, but you're getting slightly more DPS as well. And the one thing I do like about Vegeta is Vegeto, and of course, he is very, very good for the Sinjin raid specifically. And I know a lot of people like the Sinjin raid, of course, for this one. I believe that's also how you get this guy in general, so very useful unit for that. All right, so we've checked out all the effects so far. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set up the team, and we're going to see, like, what wave can we get to? You know, this is already pretty high wave, but let's go see, like, if we can use this team to get to maybe close to wave 100. So let's go turn off effects, and we're going to start figuring out these placements here. All right, I know for a fact we're gonna need a Metal Cooler, because Metal Cooler is the straight up GOAT. So let's go get all these guys. Now I'm gonna do something funny with this. This is gonna be kind of random, but I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna click all of their self things in a row. So it's gonna just be like one big blob of enemy. It's gonna be so random, but I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. So we're gonna try that as our strategy. And again, though, his DPS kind of sucks. It's only good for raid mode. So as far as the meta, yes, he's still meta for raid mode. Psycho obviously is pretty close to being as good as him, but I think Metal Cooler still has the edge. So overall, this guy is still meta. Broly's not really meta. Vegeta is maybe kind of meta for raids. So like not really. I'd probably say no. Like 6 stars are better. So yeah, so far this guy and I believe Zoro are the real like 7 stars that like still deserve the title to be 7 stars. All right, so we did that. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. That. That, and that. There we go. Perfect. Let's get them all set up on auto. We just got a nice line of coolers. And then there's going to be a pretty big gap while we wait for them to refresh. There we go. And there we go. And there we go. So these coolers are going to really help us out. 22 million is pretty sick. All right. So we're just going to max out this guy because why not? Now, like what I like to say in a lot of my videos is sometimes it's still worth it to place down the units, even if you can't max them, because oftentimes they still do decent DPS. Like, look at this. Like, if we wouldn't have placed this guy down, we'll be missing out on this 1.2 million for like 1.2 million for 7 DPS, you know, which is actually really surprisingly good. And especially with the AoE, it is pretty respectable. So we're going to go focus on getting all these guys maxed out. Now, it doesn't apply to every unit. For example, Cell, yeah, just don't. Honestly, guys, just please don't bring Cell. I understand if he's your only 7 star and you grinded for him, but like, please, guys, he is so bad. He is so bad. Bring like Naruto if you have him. Naruto's way better, but of course unobtainable now. But there's actually I think like 6-7 stars that'll be unobtainable soon, which is crazy. Not to mention Sid, who you have to trade an arm and a leg for. So there we go. You got all that popping off, guys, on wave 80. So definitely we're getting into pretty respectable territory here. All right, so for this guy, we're gonna go max him out. There we go. We need 1 on last, and of course, guys, if for bleed units, you always want to have 1 on first. All right, especially considering bleed only lasts a solid like 8 seconds. So let's go get that popping off. All right, but so far so good, guys. Wave 82, we're not really having any real issues. The one thing we are lacking though is a slow unit, but we can't bring Katakuri because Katakuri is most definitely not a the one of the oldest 7 stars. He's close, but I would say he's more towards the middle. Also, quick damage check, not bad. Of course, guys, if we had a buff unit, we would be doing a lot better, but there is no 7-star buff units that would qualify as the oldest, because obviously Deku isn't that old. All right, we're on wave 85 here, guys. It looks like they're really starting to hammer into our metal coolers. I think this might be the beginning of the end, but you know what? We made a pretty good effort, I'm not gonna lie. I do want to get 1 more Zoro max, but the enemies are just moving so fast because of our lack of a slow unit. So that's a little bit disappointing to say the least, but wave 86, wave 87, hey, maybe we'll get even higher, is still a very respectable wave. Now, one thing you can do with Metal Cooler if you're really down bad is this. All right, you can sell him, max him out, and then you can spam his cooler, like so. And then you can kind of theoretically get like infinite if you can click it fast enough. But it is kind of slow to click it, so I don't know if I can really recommend that strategy. It's just something to keep in mind, you know? If you're looking for like a last-ditch effort of like, if you only have like a few more, like thousands of HP left on the boss or something, or a few more millions. All right, here we go, 31 million on these guys, but we did make it to wave 87, which is fairly respectable, but definitely not as good as the new units, because if we take a look at the new unit challenge, I believe we're cracking like 100 pretty easily. So not the greatest, but not the worst, but there you go, guys, wave 88 with the oldest 7 stars only. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this challenge video, I know you'll enjoy this next video showing up on your screen. I'll see you there. Don't forget to subscribe.